Hey guys, my name is Sisette. Welcome to my channel. Make sure to subscribe if you want. I don't know. Alright, so I'm basically making this video because I don't want to, honestly, because I'm not really wearing makeup, but I just wanted to get it out there. A lot of times when I run into people, they ask me about my hair. They're like, oh, I love your hair. How did you get it to be that bright? And just questions. And they either want to ask for themselves, or they have one of their kids wants colorful hair, or even just like a strand of colorful hair, and they want to know basically how to do it, and do you have to lighten it first. So I'm going to answer that question, but I wanted it to be noted, I am not a professional. I did not go to school for hair or anything like that. I do hair and makeup, but I do updos. I can curl hair, straighten it, blow dry it, all that stuff, and do updos and everything, but I will not touch somebody else's hair with chemicals. When it comes to turning someone's hair from brown to black, black to brown, blonde to whatever, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. Like, if it's somebody close to me and I know them and it's something simple, like, yeah, sure, I'll help you with your hair, and I'll do my own hair and everything, but I'm not going to touch somebody else's hair because I'm not going to be responsible for it, and I didn't learn basically the chemistry of what it takes to do color, you know, in that way. But I do have a lot of experience with my own hair and other testimonials of what people have told me how they get their hair to be very vibrant and colorful. And so I want to explain why a lot of people say you have to lighten your hair before you color it and everything. And this is going to be common sense to some people, but for a lot of people, they try to color their hair when it's dark and it just doesn't last, or it doesn't show up. And I'm just going to explain the reasoning behind that, and then that way you can decide if it's important to you, if you want to lighten it first, or if you just want to try dyeing it without lightening it. So I'm just going to explain it as if your hair follicles, like a strand of hair, is a sponge, because hair can be porous and then it can be not. In other words, healthy. So if you have, really, we're doing this. Alright, come with me. Alright, now guys, we're going to be explaining this whole thing as if your hair follicle is like a sponge, because it kind of is. In case you're not aware, this is a beauty blender and this is a makeup sponge, but it's all the same thing. It's all the same idea, okay? So healthy virgin hair that has never been touched by hair dye, like what a lot of kids will have who are interested in color, no matter if your hair is black, brown, blonde, red, whatever color it is, it doesn't matter. When you have healthy virgin hair, it's going to be like a sponge that is nice and moist, but not like full of anything. We're going to squeeze this all out. So this sponge here it's nice and damp. It's not dry feeling, but it's not completely soaked either. This is healthy hair. So if your hair is naturally blonde, the dye will stick to it, but it might kind of fade quickly, just because, I'll explain in a minute, okay? So no matter what color your hair is, blonde, brown, black, hair dye will stick to it, but it won't show up in black or brown hair. It just won't, you know, if you put pink on top of black, the pink just isn't going to show up, and that's the bottom line. Even if it's brown, even if it's light brown, it just doesn't stick to healthy hair. Now, if your hair is blonde, like I was just saying a minute ago, the color will show up, but it will fade very quickly. So when you bleach your hair, as in lighten it, your hair becomes very porous and dry and thirsty. So, for example, if this is bleached hair, if my sponge is bleached hair, it will soak up the color a lot, and it will be very, very vibrant, because the water is hair dye, right? We're putting it into the hair, and it's all just going to stay in there because your hair is very thirsty, and it's going to absorb it all and stick to it, if you know what I mean. Going to reiterate the same point over again. So let's pretend I never put any water in this sponge at all, and it's very, like, it's just a very dried out sponge. That is actually kind of what happens to your hair when you bleach it or lighten it. It becomes completely dry and thirsty. So when you put the dye in it, it's, you know, you're putting in all this hair dye. So even if, so like even when time goes by, you take showers, and more hair dye kind of runs out, it's going to take thanks baby, it's going to take way longer for that dye to completely run out. It's just going to stick and stain and be more vibrant and just stay for a lot longer. Because there was no moisture in it to begin with. And I don't mean no moisture, of course, but like there's almost no moisture, because when you're bleaching your hair, not only is it lightening it to give it a whiter looking base for the pigment to show up more, but you're kind of like dehydrating your hair a little bit too. Now some of you guys are going to think that is totally common sense, and why am I even bothering to explain this, but you would not believe how many people, I get asked this very question on a daily basis. Whenever I go out in public, literally this is exactly what people want to know. Do you have to bleach it first? Because when people are wanting to let their kid have a hair color, usually they just want it to be like a strand of hair instead of the whole thing for whatever reason. I mean, you can do what you want. I can't say for sure that if she wanted a hair like mine that I would let her at 10 years old, you know. So I'd probably let her do a strand of hair. The advice I would give to you is that if you're doing this for your kid and your child has brown hair, for example, if you don't want them to bleach it or anything, let them try it in a strand of hair, just to kind of prove a point that it's, let them do it to just let them do it, you know. And if it doesn't show up as brightly as they would like it to be, maybe that will just kind of teach them that, hey, you know what, I really wanted this, but it's just not going to work in my type of hair, and then they can do what they please as they get older. Or if you really want to give them the results that they're looking for, I would definitely recommend getting that section of hair bleached. And I would always recommend going to a professional salon to have this done. I will do it myself just because I have practice and I kind of know what I'm doing, but it's not too hard to figure it out on your own if that's something you want to do. But like I said, I would always recommend getting it done professionally. Just a little side note, I know that salon hair dye, especially those vibrant colors, they use hair dye that's supposed to be healthier for your hair, and so it doesn't, in my experience, it doesn't stain as well because they don't want to damage your hair, so they're using better stuff, but it doesn't last as long. If you're doing this on your own, the hair dye that I really love and would recommend is Manic Panic, actually. It's a little tub, and it retails for about $10, so check out Manic Panic. I'm not sponsored or anything, but if you want to get a colorful hair dye that you really like. And that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye!